Welcome back to my channel. My name is Kimberly Shantae. And for those of you that's new here, please consider subscribing. And if you've been here before, thank you so much for your continued support. It really means a lot. I'm here today just to discuss how I, as a single mother, afford my trips. And I wanted to share this because I think it's very important just to share how I afford my trips, just in case you're a single mother and feel like you're overwhelmed and you just can't get out and you can't get a break. Me personally, the state that I live in, I have no family to help me take care of my kids. So I have to be creative when it comes to getting out and having fun. So back in the day when they were small, I had a friend that was stationed in Belgium, and she asked me would I come and visit her, and I was like, sure. So with me saying sure, I had to figure out the logistics. So when I figured out the logistics, what it was is I had to ask another friend to watch my children, 4 children. Yes, she watched my kids for a week. It was Thanksgiving week, and I really wanted to travel. That travel bug has always been with me. I've always wanted to travel. My ex-husband was in the military and we did not travel as much as I would like. Everywhere we got stationed was domestic, and I've always wanted to go overseas and just see the world. I'm just one of those traveling people. I love to see the world, see how different cultures are and how everybody live. I love to be immersed in the different cultures. So when the opportunity presented itself, I said, okay, my friend wants me to come visit her in Belgium, so I had to make it happen. So what I did was I went on Delta and I discovered that they offer, if you get approved for PayPal, you can actually pay for your ticket via PayPal. And that's what I did. So it was a 6 months or 12 months, no interest. And I applied, I got approved, and I put my ticket on that. Rebecca offered to host me in Belgium, so I was willing to do it because that's one thing out of the way. I didn't have to pay for a hotel. Only thing I had to pay for was my flight and any other things that I wanted, meaning souvenirs, food, just whatever I wanted while I was over there. That's all I had to pay for. So I asked my friend Dara to watch my children, and she said she would. So what I decided to do was pay her for watching my kids and also leave money for them for that week, just in case they needed anything. So I worked plenty of overtime during that time, just a lot of overtime to pay, for one, to pay off the ticket, because I didn't want that money or that debt to be there after that 6 months or 12 months. I'm not sure the time frame it was, but I wanted it paid off. And hey, Dar, if you're there, thank you. And Rebecca, thank you for hosting me. So those are the two ladies that I'm talking about. Two good friends of mine. We've been friends over 20 years. After I paid off that, I also saved money. So I have money for my spending money for my children. So I left money with her for them. And I also had money to enjoy the vacation. That was my first time being able to get out of the United States. So I really wanted to maximize that time. I didn't want to go over there broke and not being able to indulge in some of the things that Paris, Belgium, Bruges had to offer. So I saved my money and I had an amazing time. And it really opened my mind and just made me aware of how I wanted to live my life, what I wanted to experience. So with that trip, it's just added on to additional trips for me. And I wanted to continue. So Rebecca, thanks for helping with the beginning of my journey of traveling. So after that trip, I knew that I really loved traveling and that's what I was going to do, even if it's domestic. I did do some traveling domestic, which wasn't like a lot, but I'm from Texas. I'm from South Carolina, but I live in Texas. So which was hard for me, I would drive to South Carolina. That was hard. And with children by myself. So that was really, really, really hard for me. But it helped me to overcome a lot of the fears I had with traveling along with children. And I can say that that really, really changed my world and changed what I think of traveling, what I think of solo traveling, what I think of traveling, period. Because if I can overcome my fear of having to travel with kids alone, because in my mind, well, not in my mind, in the past when I was married, my ex-husband would take us everywhere we needed to be. I was really solely dependent on him and how we travel. And I realized I had to overcome the fears of being alone. You're not alone. You're with yourself, and God is giving you all what you need to branch out, to explore, to experience. And I just had to tap into that and not be codependent, because guess what? The only person I had to depend on is God and myself. So once I got past that, I've done domestic traveling, like back and forth to South Carolina. I flew to different places. So after that trip to Belgium, we were me and some coworkers. We were all sitting around talking about how we wanted to do trips, and everybody was like, "Oh, I want to go to Vegas. I want to go to Vegas." So I looked it up, and I was able to find all inclusive, the flight, the hotel, and everything for, I think it was a 4-day weekend. So we got childcare, and me, my friend that y'all see on the camera all the time with me, Karen, and these other two ladies, we all, Ebony, if you're looking, hey girl, we all went to Vegas for, I think it was a 4-day weekend, and we had a blast. So just us just sitting around talking, and everybody said they want to go on a trip, and it was like, oh, why don't we go to Vegas? And it was like $300. It was like maybe three. No, the max was 400, and I booked that trip that day. And now, because if we don't book it, we're not gonna go. And because it was under $400, we were doing it, and we stayed at the MGM. We had a fabulous time. We walked up and down that Vegas strip. We had an awesome time. We got a lot of funny stories. I got some crazy pictures. Ebony took a crazy picture of me running my mouth talking to Darren Henson. Yes, I have those pictures too. I want to look and see, can I find it? If I can find it, I'll plug it, that picture. Because I was mad at her. We were going back to the hotel and fussing. But we had an awesome time. And those are memories. Those are memories. The next trip, which was, these are years apart. These are not like boom, 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 right behind each other. So the next trip, when I remember the year, because when I graduated from graduate school, it was 2016. Karen and I, we went to graduate school together, which I talked her into it. She didn't really want to go, but she went. And we both graduated, which, great job. Thanks, Karen, for supporting me in my wild hair decision. We decided we wanted to go on an international vacation just to relax after those year and a half, because it's supposed to be a 2-year program. The graduate program was supposed to be 2 years, but we did it in a year and a half. And we are mothers and we work full time. So we wanted to really get some relaxation. So we booked the trip to the Dominican Republic, and that was just for a week. And we had an amazing time. And that's one of the vacations I want to go back on, because we really immersed ourselves in the culture. Some crazy stories from there. Hopefully I can find those pictures too, but it's some crazy story from there. We thought we was gonna get kidnapped. But anyway, a good time. And y'all would not believe the price. All inclusive. And then they upgraded us, because it was around my birthday. It was my birthday time when we went. They upgraded us to VIP. That means all alcoholic beverages, no children, anything. We had an awesome time. It was amazing. I'm telling y'all. So $800. She had to pay 8, and I had to pay 8, and we went to the Dominican Republic for a week, all inclusive. I'm telling you, $800 per person, and I'm so glad we did it. We had an awesome time. First in the culture, we had fun. I mean, it is amazing. Now with our current trips that we've been going on yearly, so now we got this ladies group. I know if you follow me on Instagram, Kimberly Shantae 6, or Facebook, Kimberly Shantae. You'll see some of the pictures of when we went on our trip. And also, I have other videos on my channel of when we went to Paris. But we had other trips prior to that, how we planned and how we pay for and organize those trips. We went to Hawaii. Southwest was not flying to Hawaii at that time. we actually just booked the flight and booked the hotel. The Hawaii, I didn't do all inclusive because, like I said, Southwest was not flying to Hawaii at that time. Currently, they are. So if I go back, I'm doing the all inclusive route. Whenever I book my hotel, I book the flight and then I book the hotel, or I book it all together if it's available. In Hawaii, we use it United Vacations. So always look for like the airline and see if they offer like vacation packages. Not all of them will be inclusive, but you can get the flight, the hotel, and to and from the airport on one thing. You can see what you have to pay. So that's what we did with Hawaii. What we did was purchase the ticket off of United Vacations, and we did everything on United Vacations. We did the flight, we did the hotel, and we did the transportation to and from the hotel. So no food was included, so we had to pay for all our food out of pocket, which was fine. And we actually had a really good time. We went to a luau. We had so much fun. Always look for the airline vacation packages. Don't just go in and look for an airline ticket, because you're going to need somewhere to stay and you're going to need transportation from and to the airport. So what we do is I go in, I search and look up United Vacations, and then you get your hotel. You look for the lowest price with the best reviews that you can get, and the most no the affordable with the best reviews. Then also you get your transportation, and you have that paid for up front. What we did was pay that off, and then when we got there, the only thing we had to pay for was our food. And next vacation we went on, we went to Jamaica, and we chose Southwest. So what I do, I go in and I look at each one. Let's see what Delta offers. Use Delta Vacation. Can I do all inclusive with Delta Vacation? So I have to look at all that. And the one that were offering the all inclusive at that time when I was searching at the affordable price is Southwest. So I have a Southwest card. After all this traveling, now I finally get a Southwest card, and I paid $99 a year for the yearly fee. And we look on Southwest Vacations to see if there's any all-inclusive before we decide where we're going or what we're going to choose. And if they have all-inclusive to the destination we want to go, that's where we're going to go ahead and go. So one thing we did with this vacation was a little bit different. Normally when we fly out, we normally fly out to with our local airport. So this time we did something a little different. I actually forgot to say, even when we went to Hawaii, we did something a little different. We flew out of DFW, Dallas airport, just so that it wouldn't be you can get a cheaper rate. So sometimes it's beneficial to go to another location to fly out just to get a cheaper rate. I know for us, when we went to Jamaica, the rate was significantly cheaper to fly out of Houston. So I looked at Austin, I looked at DFW, and I looked at Houston. And if I flew out of Austin, they were going to fly me into Houston, and we were going to have like a 4 hour or 6 hour layover. So what I decided to do was just book it and fly to Houston, and we wouldn't have that same layover. The only thing is we had to drive to Houston and board the flight, which is fine. You just get up extra early and get on your flight. So that's what we did. So when we went to Jamaica, because it was all inclusive, we were only out of pocket things that we wanted to buy, like souvenirs or just something that we just wanted to indulge in while we were there. And we actually had a really lovely time. So I'm gonna tell you, I know people don't like to pay for the Southwest, the fees and stuff like that. I don't mind paying that fee, that $99. Really, really, really beneficial to me, and it helps me out a lot. So I will leave my link to my Southwest card for people that want to get a Southwest card, because it is beneficial. I know Southwest was in the news having canceled flights and different things, but I'm gonna tell you, I'm sticking by Southwest, because later on in the video, you'll hear why I'm sticking by them. The latest one we just went on last year was Paris. We took a break because of COVID, and so now we're back at it. I think it's been 2 years after Jamaica that we did not go on a trip. And this year we went on, not this year, 2022, we went on a 2 week vacation to Paris. Yeah, we made up for them 2 years, 2 years of not vacationing, and we had a fabulous time. But I booked that through Delta Vacations, and we did. That is not all inclusive. Just so you know, Delta is not all inclusive, meaning it's not food included, but you do get your flight and you get a hotel. You choose your hotel, and you can get the airport transportation. All of that is a fee, but it's all in one. So that's how I normally book our vacation, so that we purchase the vacation. The only thing we have to worry about, like I said, souvenirs and food, if it's not all inclusive. And that was over $2,000. I don't know the true dollar amount, but I know it was over $2,000 that we paid to go to Paris. And it was an awesome vacation. It was relaxing. It was everything we needed. Well, y'all, I also forgot. So 2022, we went to Paris, but in 2021, we went to New Orleans. We did something domestic. We did not want to fly out. COVID was just kind of simmering down a little, so we did not want to do any international trips. And we actually went and took the children to New Orleans. So we drove to New Orleans, and we stayed in an Airbnb. I booked that, and that was my first time ever staying in an Airbnb. It was nice. That Airbnb was nice. I think I got footage from that. If I do, I'll pop that in. But we had an awesome time. The thing that I loved about going to New Orleans was um I drove my car. I drove my car and we drove there. It was an 8 hour drive, but we drove there and we were able to drive and see different things and get out and just navigate. We just used our Google Maps and just was all over New Orleans, just traveling around, sightseeing, doing different things. But we had an amazing time, and that Airbnb was nice. The people were nice. They were very responsive. Whenever I sent a message or anything, had any issues, they were very responsive. The neighborhood we stayed in was quiet. We had an amazing time. Let me just tell y'all, this is a little off subject, but I'm gonna tell y'all, for somebody who has so many fears about what I can do, I've been doing them. I've been conquering my fears. And I just thank God for the desire to want to do these things, that I have to overcome my fears, because in the end, I'm not going to do it if I just allow fear to hold me hostage. And in these instances, I do not. Fear, I'm going. I'm going to figure out a way to go, and I'm going to do it. Because this is what I love doing. This is what I enjoy doing. Just seeing the world, seeing what God created. I put it on my card and I paid it off before it was due. And that's one thing that I wholeheartedly believe that you should do. If you're going to use a card, use it wisely. Pay it off before it's due. If you can't afford it, don't do it. If you can't afford it and you incurring this interest, the interest is going to keep you trapped. So if you can't afford it, don't do it. But if you can afford it and you can pay it off before the balance is due, do that. I've been traveling. A good bit. It's not a huge, but it's a good bit. And I just love to travel. And I feel like it's gonna get worse as all my kids graduate. And just y'all just wait. It's more traveling to come. So these are the top tips that I say how I afford my travel. So I go on Delta Vacations and see what packages I can do depending on the location that I want to go. I go to Southwest Vacation, but Southwest Vacation is always my first search. That's what I do, to see what destinations I can get to with Southwest and see what's all inclusive. And I use my Southwest card. I just want to really highlight that. I use my Southwest card because I get points. I get points for travel. So that's why I choose Southwest, even though I have to pay the $99 fee a year. I know it probably seems a lot to you, but let me explain this to you. So I had to go home emergency and I had to book a flight. I flew into the closest place because at that time it was Charleston was the closest to my hometown. Myrtle Beach is where I'm from. North Myrtle Beach is where I'm from. So the closest airport that Southwest was flying in at that time was Charleston. But guess how much I had to pay for that flight? because I use Southwest. Put, y'all gonna be surprised. $11.88. Yeah. A $200-300 flight cost me $11.88. A $200-300 flight cost me $11.88. Yeah, you hear me right. $11.88. So I use my points. So what I do with Southwest card is I use that to pay my reoccurring bills so I can rack up points. So throughout the year, I rack up points. I just had like 200 and something thousand points recently. And I've already booked, hear me? Booked 2 flights this year to go on vacations, and it was only $11.88. For my most vacations that I book using the Southwest, it's always going to be domestic. I haven't booked international with it. I can, but I haven't. But I normally just save my points for domestic, like going back home to visit or just going to see people in other states. I use that for that. So it was $11.88 each flight. And I've done that now 4 times. Since having my card, I've booked 4 different flights to there and back for $11.88. So I think it's beneficial. Even though I pay $99 a year, but I'm only paying $11.88 for my flight. And that is outstanding. Another site that you can use if you want to do international travel, which I'm just hearing about, and it looks good. Prices are affordable, and it's called affordableworld.com. So please write that down, affordableworld.com. They have vacations to Greece, Japan, just different locations that if you want to go, they do the flight and excursions, and you can get transportation to and from the airport booked on this site. At doing any international travel, look at Affordable World. If I'm doing domestic, even international, another site that I use is justfly.com. And the reason why I use justfly.com is because with justfly.com, you can see all the airlines that's flying into your specific locations, departure airports, as well as the arriving airport. That you can see all the different airlines that fly into there and the ones that fly out. And you can see the different rates. You can see if you have to be flexible and change your dates. You can do all of that. But what I do is take that information and actually go to the official airline, because sometimes those prices at the airline is cheaper than what's on Just Fly, but it gives me an idea of who is cheaper for the flights that I'm trying to take. So that's something else that I do. I know it sounds like a lot, but it's really not. Because if you really want to fly and you really want to do it economically, you're going to do a little research. But if you don't, you can always go with a travel agent. I don't. I personally choose to do it on my own. I actually get a thrill out of researching, which is probably strange for some people, but I do. I like to find bargains. I like to find deals. So that's what I do. So if you're there's another way you can find trips for European vacation. Go to Trip Advisory and look under that for different European vacations. So that is another avenue you can do. I haven't tried it, but I have heard about it, and I have it written down for myself whenever I want to do another European vacation. So I'm gonna do a recap of all the things that I use to book my vacation. I use justfly.com, Southwest Vacations for all inclusive. I use Delta Vacations. I've used United Vacations. I've heard of Affordable World, which I will be using that soon because I there's a trip that I want to take. Because like I said, they go to Greece, Japan, all over. So, and TripAdvisor for European vacations. And I'm just going to tell you, this is what I told the ladies, for us to be financially free to afford these vacations and not be such a hardship on our household or our finances throughout the year. We set up a travel account. Each of us have our own separate travel account, and every time we get paid, money automatically goes to that account. So I would suggest, if you want to do travel, go research how much it is, whatever destination you want to go, divide it by how many months it's going to take you to get there, and just have that money automatically go into that savings account, and do it to a savings account that you don't have the card, but if you do have the card, cut up the card and just save that money so that whenever you are ready, you book the vacation, you have the money, you can pay up front. That is another avenue. So what we do is save money throughout the year to afford our vacation. I hope that this video was really helpful, because I know for me as a single mom, sometimes I felt like I was overwhelmed, or I wouldn't have the opportunities that other people would have because I am a single mom. But I didn't want that for me. I didn't want that for me, and I don't want that for you. So what I did was plan. I just planned what I wanted to do, and I made it happen just so I can have some semblance of what I wanted in life. Not what everybody had, but what I wanted out of my life. So what I did was plan. I would save my money, budget, and do the research. Those are the things that I did. And I hope this video helps someone and let you know that it's all attainable. It's just what you choose to do. And I made a choice a long time ago that I wanted to travel. I wanted to experience things. So I figured out how to make it happen. And I thank God for placing the right people in my life at the right time, so I can feel like I was living and thriving, and not feel like just because you're a mom, you can't enjoy things. And another thing that I did, whenever my kids went to stay with their dad during the summer, I took that opportunity to go on a vacation. So always find ways to go on vacations or get yourself out. Even if you're not doing an international vacation, find a way to do a domestic vacation. Because the thing is, just like my Southwest, I go for $11.88. Up to you what you choose to do. There's so many opportunities out there. So please do your research. You can vacation. It it might look a little different than other people, but it'll be good for you, because mine is good to me. So I hope you found this video helpful. I hope it is beneficial to you. If you have any questions or suggestions, please leave them in the comments below. And y'all, I just thank you so much for rocking with me. I thank you for your continued support. And if you've liked this video, please be sure to like it, because it really does count algorithm for YouTube. So please like this video, and I'll see you in the next one.